True community is not about being geographically close to someone or being in the same social networks, but it's more about caring for and being responsible for what happens within that community. And each and every member of a community is so important, whether young or old, rich or poor. Today we are so excited to take you behind the scenes of a very important organization here in our community, the Falmouth Food Pantry. We want to show you what the volunteers do here each and every week to help those who are less fortunate in our community. So today we're here with Nancy Lightbody, one of the veteran volunteers here at the Falmouth Food Pantry. So Nancy, thank you so much for having us today.
Oh, you're wonderful to do this.
Oh, well,
this
we're so
really
excited
nice
to hear about the Food Pantry and the work you do here. So would you mind telling us a little bit about the history of the Food Pantry?
Well, from what I know, because it started way before I was involved, a woman who was a nurse at the school realized that some of the students who came to see her during the day really needed food. That yes, they might be sick, but more they were hungry. And so she would collect food, not only herself, but she also would get other teachers to contribute food. And the food pantry sort of got going in the backseat of her car or whatever. But none of the other students knew that certain students were getting this food. And then it grew and grew. The police station moved from where it was next to the town hall, and the space became available, and so the food pantry moved there, and that's where it is today. And that was in, I think it was, the police moved in like March or April of 2008, and so this was in the July, I guess, of 2008.
Oh, nice.
And so it's been a while.
Yes.
So this is year 12, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great location here. So I know you are one of the volunteers. Who else is part of this food pantry here?
Many people in Falmouth. There are 6 managers. 6 of us are managers, and we all have different kinds of responsibilities. But in terms of who's involved, we are so grateful for the town hall because we're attached to the town hall, and yet they pay for our electricity. They pay the heat. We don't pay them rent. We are extremely grateful. And then there are lots of volunteers. There are about 125 volunteers who do different things. Some of them work with clients when the clients come to the pantry, and we're open 8 times a month. If there are no snow days or major holidays, volunteer will come to the food pantry, get the food that they've discussed with the family, and then bring it to the family, which is really great.
Yeah, you don't think about someone not being able to even get here to get what they need.
And also in this room, raised up on the milk cases, we would put on Tuesday mornings when we're open and Thursday afternoons when we're open, vegetables, produce, fruits that are donated by Hannaford and Shaw's, Falmouth, and we are so lucky to have them. At Hannaford, we're able to get the extra produce. We just have to go pick it up, and we get extra bakery products. We get deli, things from the deli, and we also get extra meat that is frozen that is perfectly fine. They've frozen it, maybe they had too much of it or something, and we're lucky because thanks to the Lions Club and some other donors, we have some appliances that we can freeze, keep this meat frozen, and again, give it out to the clients. And Shaw's Falmouth on Tuesday is able to give us similar items, and it's just wonderful. The other piece is, thanks to the Falmouth Elementary School, any little baby milks that are left over after lunch, or string cheese, or fruits that can be peeled, like bananas, oranges, that sort of thing, are donated to us rather than being thrown away.
You volunteered here for how many years now?
Since, since 2008, 2009.
Okay, that's when you started, yep.
Right.
I'm sure you've met so many wonderful people through this whole process, but do you have any stories that stand out?
One day we were open, and a new client came in. We hadn't checked him in or given him the tour, any of that yet. And he came in and was very appreciative of what we were doing, extremely appreciative, as are most of the people, because they don't have to pay for the food. And then at the end, just as he was leaving, there was another client who was right in front of him who was having trouble taking her shopping bag full of things out to the car. And he said, "Oh, here," and he put down his donations, or his whatever he was given, and helped her. And then he went back to get his bags, and there was another person who had an even heavier bag. And so this wonderful volunteer said, or this wonderful client said, "Here, let me help you." And so he ended up staying that day and bringing everybody's bags out. And then he came back at the end to get his bags. Finally, we were closed. Came back at the end and said, "When's the next time you're open?" So I got the little schedule and read it, and he said, "I'll be there." And I said, "That's fine, but remember, for clients, you can only, even though we're open 8 times a month, you can come only twice a month to get food." And he said, "No, I won't be getting food, but I'll be here." And ever since then, and this is, I think, year 5 for him, he has come every single time we've been open to help people take their bags to their cars. As a volunteer. He's not young, I'm not, we're not young, but he is very strong, and he does it in rain and sleet and snow. And he said, "I can't pay you for the food, but I would really like to help in a way I can." I guess another story that I love, it isn't unique, but for the last couple of years, the Boy Scouts, who have their, I guess, weekly or bi-weekly meetings in the church next door, have tried to be part of a project called Scouting for Food. And they try to collect in each of the scouts in each of the neighborhoods tries to collect as much heavy weight donation, things that they can, and then bring them to the food pantry. But I guess they weigh them somehow. I don't know how that process goes. And then they bring it over here. They happened to come last Thursday night. And just kept coming, bag after bag after bag of food. And then they had 6 of these wonderful Boy Scouts said, "Do you need help putting it away?" And I said, "Yeah, that would be nice." And so they stayed and helped shelve the donations, which was really nice. And they are, it's in 990 pounds of food.
So if we have food donations, can we bring them here when the food pantry is open, or do you have certain times for donating?
No, you bring them anytime we're open. But
Or
again,
next
as
door
I
to the
said,
town
or
hall,
next door at the town hall. And we have schedules. The schedule is posted on the town hall website.
Okay.
It's posted outside on the front door of the pantry, so people can, see what it is. And periodically we put out a cry for certain things that we need. There's certain things that we always need. So, one of them is small bags of plain white rice are very popular. Not enormous bags, because then we have to rebag it. But small bags, and not necessarily rice that's flavored or has all sorts of spices and things in it, which are very good. But people tend to like the plain white rice, and then thanks to Hannaford and Shaw's, they can add vegetables and whatever they want to them. And then we also can use soup. We also can always use cold cereal. We can use tea bags. People don't really think about that so much, but we can use tea bags during the winter, and in the summer you can make, tea outside. We can use cooking oil. We give that a sort of a Wesson oil kind of thing, which people use for salad or stir fry or pancakes or something like that. We're not fussy, we're just anything. And I guess the other requirement would be that it should be still within the expiration date. We're not allowed to give out something after.
So you can't just clean out your pantry and bring all the old stuff. You need stuff that can still be passed on.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great too.
Yep.
To remember. So thank you for those reminders. I think that can just spark some ideas and remind you of the things that you don't think of beyond just the canned.
But canned also, tuna fish we always could use that.
Yep.
That's good. And also shampoo or, soap, feminine products. I could go on and on and on, but
yeah. Well, it sounds like you're able to really use everything to the best and spread it as far as it can go, and then get those things that people need.
Right.
And I'm sure it makes such an impact on those clients' lives every day. So thank you so much for having us here today.
You're welcome.
We'll post the information for the food pantry at the end of this. If anyone is interested in going and volunteering, bringing things, we'll have all that information there for them. So
Oh,
thank
that
you
would
for
be
all the
wonderful.
work you do, you and all of the volunteers here at the food pantry. And thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Gina.